morning. Oh, excuse me. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to By Hook or By Needles. My name is Sam. Today we are going to learn how to do middle bar half double crochets. Now, middle bar half double crochet probably sounds like something you've never heard of. Well, yeah, they can also be. You would also call this sort of like, what would you call it? Third loop. You could also call this a third loop half double crochet because you're going into the third loop of the half double crochet. But unlike working into the third loop of the half double crochet with the third loop being at the back of your stitch, it's going to be at the front. This probably all sounds very, very confusing. Don't let it be. I'll show you how we're going to do this. But let's look at the chart first. We've got our chain as per usual, 2 for the height. This, once again, any number of stitches. Odd, even, it doesn't matter. Any number of stitches. The first row is very simple. You are just going to do this 2 chain here is for your height. And it counts as a stitch because you're working a stitch into it. But you're just going to work into the back bump of every chain all the way to the end. 1, 2, third chain from the hoop, from the hook. Okay, now see this little symbol? It's got a little, it's like the T, which we are used to as being the half double. This is our half double stitch. Symbol, or in the UK it's the treble stitch symbol, but it's got a little base to it, and what that little indication is telling us, that's telling us that we're going into that third loop, or into what you would want to call the middle, what they're calling the middle bar. Now I think because this book that I'm getting all these stitches from is a UK book, they use a lot of the different sorts of terminology. For example, last week we did the shallow single crochet, which I maintain is the waistcoat stitch. So I think, you will find there's a lot of names for a lot of stitches. So if you're looking at this saying, that's not what I call that stitch, I apologize. I'm just calling it the names that I know it to be known as. And yeah, and so be it. That's the way it works. But we're going to alternate. So we're going to do, when we go up here, we're going to do our, to the end. We're going to do a double chain, and we're going to go into the middle bar, or the third loop, all the way across, with the exception of the last stitch, which is going to be we're going to go into the top of our 2 chains again, and we're just going to do a normal half double crochet, because the chain has no middle bar or third loop. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 chain again, and the next row is just going to be normal half double crochets. And then when we come back again, which you can't see because there's no diagram for it, is row 2 again. So this is a 2-row repeat. We are repeating rows 2 and 3. So we're going to do 1 row of half double crochets, 1 row of half double crochets into the back loop or into the middle bar, whichever way you wish to express yourself. Okay, so that's what that little symbol there means. It means you're not working into the stitch, you're working into an additional bar, a different bar. So hopefully that says, well, hopefully it's clearer than mud. But if you have any questions, you can always just ask in the comments, and I will do my very best to answer. And if I can't answer with words, very often I'm not a stranger to actually creating a whole little video specifically for somebody, and I'd tag you in that video and say, okay, this hopefully will answer your question. So please don't be afraid to ask a question if you need any help at all with any of these stitches. So that's our picture. Once again, you will find the picture of the graph, the picture of the swatch when I'm finished doing it, and the written instructions will all be both on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel page underneath posts. It'll probably be, I'm going to link them in the description box. So you should be taken straight to the YouTube post, or you'll be taken straight to the Facebook post, whichever you choose. If you're not a Facebook person, I totally get it. I've only got a Facebook page now because I've only got it for the channel, but so people can show their work and so I can show what's going on. But also I had to get a Facebook page for my kids so I could get Messenger. This is before I knew about other WhatsApps and other things. Yeah, because that's the way kids communicate these days. So if you want to talk to your kids, you've gotta join Facebook apparently. Anyway, that's enough of my complaining about my kids and the ways they communicate. Anyway, as you know, I've got to switch camera positions before I can show you the stitch. And I will, once again, I will do my chain. Ready? It's going to be any stitches. There's no stitch count. You can just do as many or as few as you like. I've been doing 15 plus these two, so I've been doing about 17. That's probably what I'll do again this time. I'll see you in a few seconds.
Hi, my name is Maggie, and my mummy says you need to hit that like and subscribe button because of this YouTubey something or others, something something important. Anyway, thank you. Bye.
Okay, here we are. I've done my 17 chain, and I'm using my 4mm G hook and some 8-ply DK or 3-weight yarn. Once again, I'm using Bendigo Woolen Mills 100% wool because I think it gives great definition and makes things a little bit easier to see. So, how do we do a, what's it called again? Middle bar half double crochet. I'm going to also say that you could call this the third loop half double crochet because that's what we're working into, the third loop. But normally, if you've ever done camel stitch, you work into the third loop from the front of the work. In this instance, third loop in the back of the work, you actually have to turn your work to find the third loop. In this way, the third loop's actually going to be at the front of the work, so it's slightly different, but it gives you the texture of a back post or a front post without actually having to do a back post or a front post. So some of you may really like that. So I'm going to go into my third chain from the loop hook. 1, 2, 3. You would think I can say that properly after all this time, but nope. I still struggle. And we should have 15 half double crochets to do. If you do not wish to watch me do the 15 half double crochets, that's fine. Just zip to the end and get to the row 2, which is where the stitch truly begins. It's a 2-row repeat, any stitch count. So you can do as many chain or as you wish, but it is a 2-row repeat. This would be classed as the setup row. So it's not really part of the repeat. Because obviously there's no, well, yeah, there's no third loop in a chain stitch, unless you want to count this stitch I'm going through as a third loop. But yeah, so I'm going to go all the way across with a half double crochet. I trust by now that you're familiar with the half double crochet. If you're not, I do have a tutorial for it. Oh, I need to back out. Nope, back out a little bit more. You know, I do have a tutorial for it under this same playlist. It'll be right near the beginning. I put my playlists in order of oldest to newest videos, so that if you are learning to crochet, you can literally go from the most difficult, the easiest to the most difficult. So the first one on the tutorial list is the chain stitch, then it's the single crochet, then it's a half double crochet, and so on and so forth. If you want to see what the latest one, you'd have to scroll to the bottom. Okay, so that's my last half double crochet. I'm just going to check that I have got 15 stitches, because there's nothing worse than getting a miscount. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Cool. So that works. Okay, now we're going to do 2 chain, and we're going to turn the work. Now, this is where, I'm just going to put my finger in there so I can use this as a pointer. This is where it changes slightly. This is our first stitch, which we would normally work into. And this is the first stitch's middle bar, or the first stitch's third loop. We're not going to use that, because we're not going to use the first stitch at all. We're going to go straight to the second stitch. And with the second stitch, we are not going into the stitch. We are coming up, and we're going to be going into the third loop, or the middle bar, or it would be known if you were looking at it from, see, often when you do the camel stitch, you do the camel stitch from this way, and it's called the third back loop, or the other back loop, because you've got your V stitches, and then you turn it, and this is another back loop, and that's what we're going to go into, but we're going into it from the front, so to speak, because we're looking at the front of the work. I'm trying to get my hook through the loop, and I can't because I'm looking through the camera. So we ignore that first stitch, we're going straight to the second stitch, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to come down, and we are going to go through the middle bar, or the third loop, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to do a half double crochet, loop over. Once again, we're going to go into that middle bar or third loop, pull up the yarn and pull through, yarn over, next stitch across, once again up through that middle bar, yarn over, next stitch, whoops, need some yarn, oops, give me yarn, dearie me, the ball is coming with me. No, I don't want the ball, just the yarn, please, thank you. Okay, yarn over, and you will see as you're working that now that V is really twisting over, and the middle bar, or the back loop, whatever, or the third loop, or whatever you want to call it, is really standing right in front of you now, because the fabric is like turning. So it's much easier to find, because there it is, standing proud. We'll go into that. So I'll show you again. See, there's our V, and there's the third loop or the middle bar. And that's what we're going to go into. When you turn it around, we are going to see that it actually produces a ridge for us, very much like the camel stitch would, or the working a back loop would. But it's probably not as annoying as a back loop. I'm just going to back out a bit. Whoops, that's too far. There we go. And we work all the way to the end, going into the, was that the last stitch? Yes, it was. So now we've got the chain 2, and now we just do normal half double crochet into the top of that chain. We don't, because the chains have no back, well, middle bars or back loops. Now let's count our stitches. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I think we count that as a stitch, didn't we? Hang on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh, hang on, no, that's the last. I've missed a stitch, see? You didn't tell me that. There is another stitch there. I didn't think there was, but there is. And it's very tricky to see this last stitch's loop. But it's there. Let me show you. It's just there. It's a bit tricky to see. So we're going to go into that. Come on. Come on, eyes, work for me. Oh dear, come on. Okay, that's better. And then we work into the top of the 2 chain. Oh, come out of the way, yarn. This yarn is going in the way. Now if you can't manage to get into the top of the chain, just go into the space at the end. It'll all work out. Now let's try that again. That should be 15. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. That's better. Sorry about that. But that was tricky to see. Okay, so then we do a chain 2 and we turn, and now you can see what stitch it has produced. It's just bent the stitch forward. So now we've got a nice V running all the way down, giving us a bit of texture and a little ridge, and it's very pretty indeed. Then we come back, and this time, do we work into that? I'm imagining we do work into that, but I'm just going to check, because no, we don't. We don't work into that first stitch, because our chain 3 is our first stitch. Oh, sorry, our chain 2 is our first stitch, and so we work into the second stitch. So we've got, it's going to be 1 stitch, 2, And now we're just doing normal half double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and again we work into the top of the chain 2 space, or the chain 2 for our 15th stitch. And I'm going to just show you that second row one more time, the row that gives you that ridge, so you can have a look at the stitch again. So we ignore the first stitch. This is the first stitch, and this is our first stitch's middle bar or back loop, whatever you want to call it. We go straight to the second stitch. So we half double crochet, and we go, and that's 2 stitches. Don't forget the chain counts as 1. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got a knot to deal with. 8. Did I say 8? Yes. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is where we're going to find this. We've got 13, 14. I think that's it there. 14. And then top of the chain with a normal half double. And that gives us another ridge. Okay. Once again, a larger sample of this, larger swatch. Picture will be with a picture of the graph and the written instructions. You'll be able to find both on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel's posts page or section. And I will put links to both of those in the description. And this is your middle bar half double crochet stitch, or I would call it also your third loop. The back is fairly flat and uneventful, whilst the front has that really nice ridge. Okay, so I hope that was explanatory, self-explanatory, or you understood it. If not, please, as always, don't forget you can ask questions either in the Facebook group or in the comments below. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit phased at the moment. I've got to, sorry. So yeah, I will do that off screen and make sure that information is available for you. Please take care, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.